Now, I live in an absolutely beautiful part of Greater Manchester. This is the view we get out of our living room window. This field here is always full of horses, and we've also got a fantastic view of Manchester city centre. But let me show you the joys of living off-grid. Now, we've been having a few problems with our drains. Basically, they've all been backing up and we've been flooding. So this is what happens, and I've got a tap running in the kitchen to show you. So we don't have a septic tank, we have a cesspit, which is covered by this dodgy well, which I am changing. So the water comes from the bungalow, got the kitchen tap running, runs into the drains, into the cesspit. The water then, because the solids stay there, the water then comes down to this pit here. I don't know whether you can see in there, but there is a sump pump down there. It then pumps the water up here into this really manky looking tank. It then gets fired through those holes, which we should hear any second now. Now, this tank just isn't for holding the water, it's also some kind of filter, which I don't know anything about. We got no information on it whatsoever when we moved in, only that our solicitor was very concerned about it. Anyway, it then fills this manky tank up, and then by gravity runs down here. Hello, Rosie. Comes down the side of the bungalow here. Comes through this flexible pipe, and this is where the problems were. This was just completely flooding here, because what we found out is that grid goes straight through into that clay pipe, and then we're supposed to have a soakaway out here. But it turns out all we had was the clay pipe sticking through this stone wall and no soakaway whatsoever in the field. But it was just completely blocked up. So I had to dig it all out yesterday and get rid of all the muck out which was blocking the pipe. So plan for today is, this pipe's dodgy anyway. It's just held together there with a bit of tape. I'm going to replace that with plastic through the wall there, continue it away from the house, and then make a soakaway there where all those nettles are. So that's the job for today, because everybody's sick of the smell, especially our lovely neighbours, because they didn't have pen and ink around here. And then, won't be today or this weekend, I will backfill this a little bit, but then I'm going to pave all the way around here. Now, everything I'm doing here is just temporary and investigation work. I'll need to get permission from the owner of the field to change any part of this soakaway. But if you do want to know how to do a soakaway, you will need to see the BRE Digest 365, which is all about soakaway designs. Or you can use BS 6297. Now, when I was investigating, one of the things I did find was the clay pipe just stuck through the wall, and this is one of the major reasons why this wall is falling over. Now, according to the building regs and the British standards, I will require the end of this soakaway to be more than 5 metres away from the house. So I will have to put some drainage pipe into this ground as a temporary measure to get the water away from the house. Now the first part of the job was to break out the clay pipe going through the wall, which was an absolute beggar, and then join the new plastic pipe onto the old clay pipe. And the best way of doing this was this flexible underground drainage connector, which is 136 to 110 millimeters. So now I've laid the new pipe. See going through there. Now, I'm not happy about it, but I had to do a little dog leg there because, I don't know if you can see it just behind the pipe there, it is the main power cable coming into the house. So, and there's a big lumps of concrete under there for the foundations for this pole. So I've had to do a little dog leg to then send it down there. So what I've got to done down at this end is dug the soak away, dug a pit here, filled it with stone. So I'm going to put some small stones down there in a minute. I've also put some the broken clay pipe down there. So what I'm going to do now is fill all this with stone, and then all that soil can go back over the top. So let's stop messing around and let's get on with it. And the first part of the soakaway is done. So what I'm going to do is put this big stone over the top where the elbow is and the soakaway, so I can easily find it from the house. I'm actually going to measure how far away it is if it does get overgrown again. But at least I know once I've hit the stone, I'm at the right end. So all I've got to do now is fill those bits in and then backfill it. Well, that's all the stone covering now. It's hard work wheelbarrowing it all the way from over there. I've made a nice path. Anyway, now to get that big pile back down here. There you go. Nobody would ever know I've been here. Well, not from the air anyway. Now it's time to fill in this hole. So first of all, I'll fill it with stone to above the soil pipe, and then I'm going to backfill it with sand or grit sand because I'm going to put that dirty great big stone back over. So that's the first part done, soil pipe covered with stone. But may I add, everybody always seems to slag off Worcester Bosch boilers, saying they're too expensive and they're a load of junk. But may I say, their Neely mats are absolutely fantastic, and it was free of charge. And the grit sand down, the next thing is to bust a gut, getting that huge piece of stone back in the ground. Pipes are now covered with the plastic again and some more grit sand. And now our little path down the side of the bungalow is back to how it was before. But hopefully it doesn't flood this time. Now that's the temporary soakaway completed. Now I need to get some permission for this because this actual field is owned by one of the neighbours up there and they don't live in the country at the moment. But I'm thinking of doing the crate system for a soakaway, but I'll need to do some tests because it depends on how high the water table is depending on what I do next. But like I say, I need to get this permission first before I start doing some tests for that. So hopefully you like this video and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.